Hello, my little wombats. Today we're going to be playing with 1 point perspective, and we're going to be drawing some box-like shapes and then kind of doing a little carving them up to make them into more complex shapes. But we're going to see how shapes look when they're above the horizon line versus below the horizon line. And once again, taking two-dimensional shapes and converting them into three-dimensional shapes. Let's get started. So step one, let's all fold our papers. See how I'm lining up the corners just so? Line up the corners. Hold it on this side and fold it. Hold it and fold it. All right, so now we have perfectly in the middle of our papers a horizontal line. Voila. Isn't that nice? I'm actually going to reinforce that. So get your ruler out and let's draw in a line right there. The folding helps us make it straight and in the middle. And we're going to put our disappearing point over here, on the right-hand side. There we go. So now we're just going to draw some simple rectangles. I'm just going to do straight up and down, side to side, vertical and horizontal. Doesn't have to be perfect. Well, it could be a little more perfect than that, Mr. Meserve. All right. Let's do some that are below the line and some that are above the line. Then when we convert them into 3D, we will see what the difference is. Let's do one up here and do a tall one. You can do a tall one if you want to. There we go. And here. And let's do one over here. Well, I'm not being very horizontal, am I? Getting sloppy. It's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, there we go. 4 boxes. So, fine, wonderful, great. They're boxy. They're here. Some 2 above the line, 2 below the line. And here, let's even do one that's on the line. Right in the middle of the line. What? We'll handle you last. What are you doing being on the line like that? All right, let's go to our first one. First one we drew. Give me our ruler. And just like our other exercises we've done, put your pencil on the disappearing point and bring the ruler to it, and then rotate until you get to the bottom corner of that box, like right there. So we're not going to connect it all the way out to our disappearing point. We're just going to make it a random size. It could be a thin box. It could be a thick box. I guess we're talking about depth here. I want to make it to go to about here. So boom, there we go. So I know what direction to do it because it's aligning with that disappearing point, even if it's not connecting to it. All right, same thing with the next corner. I'm going to approximate that. Maybe I'll draw it lightly, then I can come back and finish it later. I didn't know exactly when to stop that, but it stops where this ends. So I decided how big I made the box on this line. That was my decider. Now everybody else kind of follows suit. So the back of the box, we go horizontal and connect to where that hits this diagonal line. And that goes somewhere that way, but we don't know quite how long it is. Until we check in with the disappearing point, pencil on the point, bring the ruler to it, rotate, and then connect here to there, and then it stops on that horizontal line. So there we go. We just converted that rectangle into a 3D box. Look at that. That's a real box sitting there. I was pretty amazed when I learned about this technique. I thought it was like a cool life hack that made my drawings look so much more realistic for free. Here we go. We're gonna go same thing again. This corner. Let's make this one deeper. Oh, that goes all the way over there. What a deep box. Does it have deep thoughts? I don't know. This one goes about the same distance. Oop, I didn't go long enough, but I'll just end it where that line is. And now we do the top, this corner here. Wow, that's so close to the horizon line that is really not even showing up. That's weird. It's just kind of like corner somewhere back there. You could barely see the top of that. It drew pretty close to the disappearing, the horizon line. There's that one. All right, let's do this top one up here. Just remind you of the exercise we did with the blue shapes. It should. There's one. That sets the depth. Now we'll go up. Remember, you can pause this at any time. Pause, pause, pause. Hit that pause button. Move over here. Do. Connect these two here to there. That tells us where we can stop for the back, the top. And we're not going to do that corner. We're going to do that corner. Lightly. Then we're going to match this line and come horizontally over from where we set our depth and connect it to that line. That line was too long, but that's because we didn't know exactly how to draw it until we checked in with the ruler. All right. Sorry, I just bumped the camera, my elbow. This one could be really thin, doesn't have to be deep. It could be thinner than it is wide. It's only that deep. Bring that down. And draw a line between the corner and the back like that. Again, I'm so close to the, well, you can kind of see that. So depending on where you drew your boxes, you may see more or less of the bottom. So that brings us to the part where we talk about the horizon line. What's the difference of a box being above and being below? Well, we can see right here, the difference is if it's below the horizon line, we see the top of the box. And if it's above, we see the bottom of the box. What if it's in the middle like that? Well, let's find out. The ruler will tell us, won't you, ruler?
Yes, I will.
Thanks. All right, here we go. Yep, send that back a ways. Let's check in with the next corner. No. Nope, I've set the depth with this guy, so I gotta do my vertical line going up, and then we'll see where to connect it with this one. Like here. There. And, oh, do we connect the others? Oh, no, that's inside. That's inside, so, well, if it's on the horizon line, you see neither the top nor the bottom. Interesting, that's kind of like when we're at eye level with the first story of a building or a house or something. We don't necessarily see the roof, and we don't see underneath, even if we could see through the ground. We're at pretty much eye level with it. So, there you go. There's some simple 3D, some floating boxes. And can we do more with these? Of course we can. Can we make this look more interesting? Once you've done a bunch of boxes, you can actually start carving these boxes. It's fun. We could do like a line. What about the middle of this? What if this was like a bench or something? Then it would have a cutout part in the middle. So it would look kind of like that. Now we're following the same rules, the same disappearing point, the same horizon line, except we'd see through this, like say we're turning that box into a bench. It would look kind of like that. So then we would see through here, wouldn't we? Let's draw horizontally. Let's go across there. But how long do I make that? I don't know where this, because this should end. It's not deeper than that. I could kind of guesstimate, but I don't have to guesstimate. This corner will tell me. Even though it's hidden here, it's not hidden over there. Show me that corner. There we go. So if that was a solid back, it would go here and intercept that point right there. So that tells us that that is where the back edge of this bench would be. Interesting, huh? Boop. Just gave us some free information. Would I know off the top of my head? I don't know if I would have made it that thin. I would have thought it would be a little thicker, but you can't argue with the data. Some people try, but nope, that corner is that corner. It is what it is. Look at that. That's cool. Well, what if we made it more like a table? Then we want to cut this out. But we want to cut this out the same thickness of there. Can we guess the thickness? We could try, but we don't have to guess. We can do a guiding line from this part that we already cut out. Say this line went all the way to the corner. It doesn't, but for construction lines, we can make it go all the way to the corner. Then we drop this down, and then it goes there. So if this was cut out and that was the same thickness, now we know where to put it. So we can just guesstimate the width of this leg here. Do the same over here. They should be about the same on this side. Then we could just darken the middle part. That's all we need. Now we're going to erase our guidelines. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. But we know that this thickness is the same as this thickness, even though it's getting smaller as it goes away from us. And guess what? We would see through here too, wouldn't we? Would we? Wouldn't we? We would. So I think we'd see this face of that leg. Doop, 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 doop. So that goes this way. So about how thick do we make it? Do we measure that? No, there's a good way to do it. We take our horizontal line for the front of the legs, and then we take it over to this corner here. And as that line goes across, I'm just going to draw it extra long. As this guideline goes across, it should intersect with this line, right where that thickness should be. Like that. Free information. Erase those guidelines. Oh my goodness, what have I got myself into? Because we would never be a table with a solid leg there and hollow over there. That's crazy. So now, what we have to do, we have to find this inside edge and bring it over to here, find out where it hits, and also this edge, find out where that hits. That goes over here. Then those go up, up, up. And we continue that line like this one. This one goes back. And this one tells it where to end. That's getting kind of small right here, hard to see. There we go. Some thick legs on that bench. That's okay. That's the way it was designed. Looks like I erased too much, huh? Even with the little click erasers, it's hard to be totally accurate sometimes. But I can come back and reinforce that side and this side. There you go. Some figures in 1 point perspective. Want to carve up anything else? We could carve up other things. Like what if we just took the corner off of this box right here? Do it like this. And stay in the middle more. If I cut off that corner, what would that, how would that actually translate to the rest of the box? Well, we use that intersection, just send it to the back. This intersection, send it to the back. And now, how do we complete that? Well, we have all we need to know. We know where this plane ends and that plane ends. So just connect the corners, and that's what the back side looks like. Whoa, we just carved something. That's pretty neat. All right, and you can keep on carving more stuff into more things. If you cut a hole, what if we cut a hole in the middle of this guy? You know, doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle. It still obeys the rules set forth by, whoops, disappearing line. Let's get that on camera. Do, 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 do. Gives us a thickness there. And, well, this is tricky. How do we find where to end this? Because it's not the same. We need this back corner. We need, actually, this back corner back here. It's a little hard to see. But that's going to tell us this thickness. I actually have to draw the other side of the box get to it. Do we? Do we? Is that how we do it? Let's draw, since we can see a little better up here, we're going to draw this one through. No. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a guideline. We're going to bring it to the outside, because that's all we know about is the outside of the box, not the inside. Go that way. So if this was on the back side of the box, it would be like that. So right there, right, approximately where I had ended it, coincidentally. There we go. Because this face is further away from the horizon line than this face, we see more of it. We see more of that than we do this one because it's up higher. Pretty wacky. Pretty sneaky. All right, that's about it for now. We can also, well, we don't have to just carve. We can add. Also, what if we wanted to add a triangle on top of this? Make this one into a house. Well, we find the center by doing X and draw that line up. That's going to be the point of our triangle up there. So we can add this, add that, and then we just carry that backwards using the information from our disappearing point. So that goes back along this angle. But where do we stop it? We could guesstimate. We could just kind of copy that, but that's not really where it is. Really, it's where the center. Let's carry this center line over. Pretend this line is drawn on top of the box. And where that hits the back edge is the center of that line. So that goes up, and now we just drew the mirror image of this guy. This guy's buddy is over there, and where he stops is where the peak of the roof is. So now all we have to do is complete this. And we see it's not exactly the same angle. It's a little different because it's a little farther away from us. And of course you can erase all that stuff in there because we don't see through there anymore. We still see this line though. This line. And there you go. And there you go. And if it was sitting in a yard, like this, just flat on the ground, do that a little longer, there, and it would look like this. So I'm barely past the house on that side. Nice that. Complete that. Forgive me if I'm just like going crazy here. You don't have to draw all this part, but it just shows how you can experiment around. There's the house and the yard. Or maybe it's a house that lives on top of a giant building that goes off the page. It's so big. Dun dun dun. What are you doing living on top of that building? Crazy. Well, there you go. That was cool. And you can continue to carve these up and make them even more complex shapes if you like. But we'll be back again to do more perspective drawing.